Yo, 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 what's good, everyone? It's your boy GD, the sports actor, and it is a beautiful Monday afternoon, especially after the New York Giants beat on the Chargers yesterday on Sunday. And it's a victory Monday, folks. It is a victory Monday. Finally, we got a dub, and the Giants are 1-3 on the season, while the Chargers are 3-1, taking their first loss against the New York Giants. This was a big one. This was a big one for many reasons. First off, just want to say, hope that Neighbors gets well soon, even though we won this game. At what cost? At what cost? We won the game, but our best player, our best wide receiver option is out for the season with a torn ACL. And we're hoping the best for Malik Neighbors. We're hoping that he recovers. This should give a lot of opportunity for guys like Jalen Hyatt, Bo Collins to really step up and make a name for themselves. And not only make a name for themselves, but continuing to push us towards success. Because although Malik Neighbors is out, we still need to keep this momentum up. This is why most of the guys in the post-conference, a lot of guys were saying the same thing. It's about the next man up. Everyone understands just how valuable Malik Neighbors is, but it has to be that next man up mentality. Injuries happen in the NFL. No one likes them. It's probably the worst part of the game. You wish that, players didn't get fatigued, that they didn't get injured like they don't in Madden, but that's just not the case. And there needs to be something looked into about the field at MetLife, whether the turf really is an issue. I do believe that they should have switched over to grass, especially a team that is valued at over $10.5 billion. I'm pretty sure that the New York Giants can do it. The New York Giants can easily change the field to grass. We've seen it for the World Cup. We know that they're going to be doing it when the World Cup is here. I mean, we know that they are capable of changing the turf to grass. And yes, I know two teams play there, but make it happen, please. Make it happen, because this must be why people are slipping all over the place. They're tearing ACLs, OBJ, Aaron Rodgers, most recently Malik. But you also had, I'm pretty sure that run that Daniel Jones had, that, what was it going to be, like an 80-yard run or something like that? Didn't he slip at MetLife? I don't know. We don't need to talk about DJ. They took their first L to the Rams. But hey, Adonai Mitchell, hold the ball before you go into the end zone, my boy. But let's get back to this game. So the New York Giants get their first win, as I said before. And what's really nice about this win is it was Jaxson Dart's first start at QB. Also, the New York Giants hadn't beat the Chargers since 1998. 1998 was the last time we beat the Chargers. Not even Eli Manning, who got drafted by the Chargers, was able to beat the Chargers during his time here with the team. So a nice win over a franchise that seemed to, put belt to ass every single time they played us. I was there at the game in 2021 and unfortunately saw us lose that game. Thought we played great. We should have won, but wasn't the case. But this game here, the Giants win. We win 21-18. Now let's break down, what was so good about this game and what gave the Giants a chance to win this game. As I stated before in the morning post that I did that Sunday morning, I talked about some of the things that would help this team win. And one thing that I emphasized on, it was the defensive line. And the defensive line was primo. The defensive line looked amazing. I mean, between Dexter Lawrence interception, a Dexter Lawrence interception from the line, and this was the same Dexter Lawrence that many people were trying to figure out as to exactly what was going on with Dexter. Many people were reporting that he wasn't getting enough sacks. It seemed like he was taking a step back, especially since he was being double teamed, triple teamed every single time he was on the on the field. It was starting to get a little bit frustrating for those of us who want Dexter to be successful. Some of us felt like maybe it was starting to get frustrating for Dexter Lawrence himself. But this game here, From week 1 to week 4, you can see where all the hard work is paying off, where continuing to grind is going to show results. And whether that be for Dexter Lawrence to get an interception, run it down to, I believe it was the 2 or the 3, and almost score the ball himself, which, would have been great if he had, because it took us a while to score, especially when we got into that red zone. We just really couldn't get anything going, and we're going to get back to that. But he put us in a great position. He also was such a pivotal point. When you take that many guys to block you, 2-3 guys off of that offensive line, you're giving room for everybody else to just run rampant. You got guys like Brian Burns having a field day, and who's been playing great since day one. Pretty sure he's the leading sack leader, by maybe 1, 2, 3 sacks. He's just been consistent every single game. You have Kayvon Thibodeau, who many really did not believe in, but he went and worked on a little bit of wrestling. He bulked up a little bit more, and he really wants this for himself. I mean, he's come into season saying he wants to be the sack leader. He wants to, break records, and he's doing a really good job. He's doing a really good job of taking the words and putting them to action. So I'm really loving what I'm seeing from him. And we're really starting to find exactly where Abdul Carter fits into the mix too. We're starting to see all these guys on the field at the same time. We're starting to see stunts. We're starting to see them move into an outside linebacker or maybe a spacing linebacker position, not necessarily hands in the ground, not necessarily as far back as a linebacker, but, someone who's right there in that spy slot center. And I really do think that we're starting to gel as a defense. The defense is looking great. And with the front pressure doing what they're doing, it's giving guys like Drew Phillips the ability to intercept the ball. It's giving guys, time to be able to attack the ball and meet the ball where it is and not give runners too much time after the catch. Because the ball has to come out so quickly, we know where it's going and we can go and attack the ball. Of course, there needs to be some fixing on tackling, but tackling can be fixed throughout the season. I felt like the guys were aggressive. They got to the ball, tackled well. Bobby O, you looked good. Always consistent and there to make the big hits when necessary. We did have a few breakout runs where it seemed we were a little bit confused, where Hampton was able to get yards, or Herbert was able to do something with his legs on a 3rd and long. Spots where we should have shut it down, they were able to extend. And that comes from, tackling better or getting better angles so they're not able to have so much field and opportunity. But those are things that can be worked on. When you have a win, it's good to reflect on the win, and then you can definitely look with better eyes, fresh eyes, happy eyes. You can go look to see what things you could have done better. But as far as I'm concerned, the defense did a really, really good job of, making sure that Keenan Allen didn't go off. I really was impressed by Drew Phillips. He's just a really good corner, just a really good lockdown guy. Was able to stop Ladd McConkey quite a few times. Was able to stop Keenan Allen quite a few times. And anything that was asked of Drew Phillips, I really do think that he meets the bar and he goes past it. He plays with such speed and ferocity. He's great at making those tackles when it's a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You think that the receiver is just going to do a slight slant, try to get a check down, and he's just running right alongside, ready to grab those hips and wing you down. So big congrats to Dexter Lawrence, Drew Phillips, the whole defense, Brian Burns, Carter, just really, really good performance. Of course, you want to see a little bit more coming off of our other corner position. I thought Deontay Banks was strong, could be stronger and improve. Tyler Nubin looked good, could improve just a little bit more. When it comes to seeing a couple interceptions, I'd love to see that. When it comes to our middle linebacker stopping some of these QB runs, I would like to see that as well. But, as I said before, we got to win and you want to remain on the positive. Big shout out to Darius Muasau, who played a great game as well. I thought he played some incredible defense at that linebacker position, especially since McFadden is out. He definitely had some really nice stops at the line of scrimmage. He read screens well, which was really, really good. I think he even got one for maybe a loss on one of the tackles there. But as I said before, I thought that we would be suffering a lot more because McFadden is out. They seem to attack Darius Muasau quite a bit, but he held his own and the defense played well, and that is thanks to our front four, who I would give an A+, A++ if I could give it. And yeah, so that's as far as what I can say on the defense. Now let's move to the offense. Some people were trying to be critical. Okay, some people were trying to be critical of Jaxson Dart, and I just don't understand how you can. Number one, as a quarterback, you helped us win the game with clock management. That's what you are as a quarterback. You manage the clock, you manage the game, and that's exactly what Jaxson Dart did. There were no stupid turnovers. There were no interceptions. There were, a few sacks that were taken, I believe 5, because he was trying to make something happen. He's scrambling inside the pocket. I don't mind those. If you're playing aggressive and you're really trying to make something happen, you're going to get sacked every now and again. He was dominant on the field in terms of making great decisions and being exact with where he wanted the ball to go. He knew when he wanted to throw the ball. He knew when he wanted to run. There was not much of a hesitation coming from Jaxson Dart. It seems as if he works well within this playbook and this schematic. And I said that earlier in my first video that it seems as if, and we saw a glimpse of it, when Jaxson Dart had to be taken out after that 18-yard run, I want to say, and he hunched over and they wanted to take him out, put him in the tent, make sure for concussion protocol that he was okay. Russell Wilson came in for one play. The play that Russell Wilson came in for immediately collapsed. It immediately collapsed in the sense of Russ just dropped. He dropped his head, took the sack, wasn't able to break out the pocket, wasn't able to put his eyes downfield. Jaxson Dart wasn't doing much of that at all. I mean, most of the time he was lining up. He was lining up in that shotgun position, which was great. He was under the center a few times, but I believe for most of the part he was, sitting back in the shotgun. But the toughness and grit, the moxie, the aura that Jaxson Dart brings to this team is welcomed, and it's needed. Few times, especially on that 3rd and short, or was it a 4th and short, Jaxson Dart runs the ball, tries to run it up the middle, hits a DB, drops his shoulder, hits him, bounces off, rolls out to the left side so he can go ahead and get that first down. That's heart. That's drive. You want to see that from your quarterback. You never want to have your quarterback seem like he's too much on a pedestal and he's not going to be able to work in with his guys. And that is exactly what Jaxson Dart showed you. He is willing to work. He's willing to take some of the big hits. He's willing to take some of the sacks. He's willing to hold the ball just enough to give receivers a second to develop the play, and then he's going to hit him. So I was super impressed. Jaxson Dart finished, I believe, 13 for 20, 111 yards with a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown to Theo Johnson. If you watch some of the press conferences, they spoke about how that specific touchdown pass where he was able to shovel it to Theo Johnson and Theo Johnson sat on the play, that was something that they had worked on together as a team, or not as a team, as two players, quarterback and tight end. It was nothing to do really with the coach, nothing to do with really what the scheme was and how it was designed. It was something that they had practiced, something they had talked about. If they had ever seen that opportunity that they were going to take it, and they did. And what a beautiful spin. I'm glad that Theo held on to the ball there. If he didn't spin, probably may have been stopped, but the spin allowed him to roll and to glide on into that end zone for that touchdown. And what a beautiful touchdown. Now, I will say that the red zone offense needs work. We were in the red zone, I believe, 4 different times. The score could have been higher than even what it was at that end there. The score could have been way higher than 21-18. Let's be honest. It could have been in the 30s, in the 40s. Wan'Dale Robinson drops a pass. And those are the type of passes that we need you to make. I thought it was going to Theo Johnson, who was standing right next to Wan'Dale, but It was thrown to Wandell. Hits Wandell in the hands, and Wandell just gets it crowbarred out of there by the defense. I mean, you got to be stronger with those hands. Jaxson Dart is rolling out, can't quite get to the goal line himself, so he's able to buy you some time, pull some of the linebackers, pull some of the defense that was in the end zone up because they're scared that he's going to run, and then he dumps it off to Wandell Robinson. You got to make that catch. You got to make that catch because your quarterback gave you a chance. And that's what most wide receivers want. They want a shot. They want a chance. So if we had converted that would have been great. You had another touchdown, as I said before. Dexter Lawrence intercepts the ball, runs it to about the 3 or 2. We're not able to convert. We settle for 3. That should have been a touchdown. So we need to work on our red zone offense. Definitely when we're down there, we need to come out with points. Also want to say big shout out to Cam Scadaboo, 25 carries for about 79 yards. Cam Scadaboo was a problem. And not only that, but he was able to help our offense get churning and burning. Now, it's going to be very interesting when Tyrone Tracy gets back into the mix because we did have Devin Singletary, who looked like a pro, looked like a vet, was able to eat within this system, was able to find some nice holes, was able to give us a couple first downs. I'm really not mad at it. I'm not. But it's really going to be exciting when you get a healthy Tyrone Tracy back and the confidence and power that Cam Scadaboo brings as well. You match those two things up together, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful run game. Now, Devin Singletary, 7 carries for 28 yards, and Jaxson Dart, 10 carries for 54 yards. Those Cam Scadaboo and Jaxson Dart were our main running backs for this game for sure. And then as far as receiving, Malik Neighbors had gone out early. He was 2 for 20 yards before he had went out, and I really thought that he was going to have a really good game, especially you got Jaxson Dart going. You continue to play, you come back from the half, and you're just warmed up by then. I really expected and could see a big game coming for Neighbors, but that wasn't the case. You have Darius Slayton, 3 receptions for 44 yards. One of my favorites was where Jaxson Dart was in the pocket, rolls out, doesn't really have anywhere to go, trying to extend it, and he looks at Slay, and he said, come here. And he's pulling Slay in, throws a ball, first down. And that was down in the goal line area. That's what you want from your QB, who's out there conducting like a maestro. Just conducting the offense and letting them know where he wants them to go. That was a bit Patrick Mahomes-esque, and I really enjoyed seeing that. Theo Johnson, 3 receptions for 17 yards. Wandell, 3 receptions for 14 yards. Bellinger, 1 reception for 13. We're going to need those type of things to step up, especially with Malik Neighbors out. We're going to have, probably someone from the practice squad come up. We're going to have some guys, give them some opportunities who have been sitting on the bench, but we need someone to step up. We need multiple guys to step up, not just someone. We need multiple guys, at least 3 of our guys. Theo Johnson, Darius Slayton, Wandell. At least start off with those 3 and then give us somebody else who can produce a little bit of magic. But we're going to need our wide receiver core to definitely step up, to play with some heart, some grit. And it's going to be necessary for us to pull out some more wins. Now, this was a great game. It's a great W. Shout out to Jude McTammany. Glad to have him as a kicker because he definitely helped us in some of those red zone moments when we needed someone to kick the ball. Buddy was there. Graham Gano, hope you're resting at home watching a successful kicker. Because I don't know what would have happened if we didn't have a kicker. And, we would have had Koo. I think Koo could have made those. We put the ball in great position where any kicker back there should have been able to make it from the 30. But at the end of the day, this team gelled the way that it was supposed to. It fought. It was dirty. It was gritty. It was grimy. And we came out with the dub. And you love to see it. Giants sitting at 1-3, same as the Ravens. And we beat a good team. Some would have said that, or some were saying Chargers look like they're playoff bound, Super Bowl contenders, top 5 defense. Justin Herbert looks incredible. Well, we beat them. We almost beat the Cowboys too. We should have won that game. And KC pretty much shut them down. Should have won that one too. Should we be 3-1? Ask yourself, serious question. Should we be 3-1? My case rests. So yeah, man, super exciting. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of energy, a lot to talk about, and we're going to have more to talk about. We have the Saints coming up next. I believe we go to New Orleans to go meet those boys, and the Saints aren't looking like a great team. We have Jaxson Dart going up against Spencer Rattler. Well, Spencer, get ready for your cage to be rattled, my friend, because this New York Giants pass rush, I don't think that they're letting their foot off the gas. I think it's only begun. And I'm super excited to see what's going to go on. So tonight we got some games. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. I believe we have Denver against, we have Bengals against the Broncos. I'm going to have to give that to the Broncos. I think that they're going to have a good game, even though the Bengals are a good team. They just don't really have that quarterback back there, and their defense is sus. And then we also have the Jets and Dolphins. The Bengals, Broncos are regular 8:15 if you're on the East Coast, 5:15 if you're on the West Coast. And then the Jets Dolphins, because we get 2 games on Monday night, super exciting. Jets Dolphins is at 4:15, so that would be 7:15 if you're on the East Coast, 4:15 if you're on the West Coast. Jets Dolphins. With that game, I'm going to have to go to the Dolphins. I think Dolphins are at home. They need to get a win. Hope Tyreek Hill has a really good game. He's on one of my fantasies. And, yeah. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what I could do better. Tell me what the team could do better. And let's keep going down this rabbit hole. Let's keep winning these games. It takes only one to change the momentum. And let's keep this momentum strong. All right, guys. That's all. GD the Sports Actor. And as always, let's go blue. Peace.